What would life be like if you were gonna move to Northwest Arkansas? Especially if you're like my friend Val here, would be moving from California. Well, on this video, we're gonna find out. Hi, I'm Eric Eby with the Curtis Realty Group, and on this week's episode of Naturally NWA, we're going to talk about the differences of living in Northwest Arkansas and California. We're standing here in front of Tuscan Trotter, which is one of the most popular local restaurants here in Bentonville. They're known for their farm-to-table high South cuisine, and I just had a burger, and you had a chicken sandwich. Val, what'd you think about this place?
It was good, fresh, right off the farm food.
Good, good. So if you were in California, how would this compare to some California food?
Well, we don't have a lot of California that's farm to table, but we do have a place that's called Fable Spirit, so that's kind of close.
Okay.
But it'd be maybe like Zoe's Bistro, where it's a variety of food, but this is a place where I can see where a lot of people probably come and meet their neighbors, and
absolutely.
Not really a hangout, but just a place that's real popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is a beautiful fall day here. We don't have a lot of fall weather in Southern California.
Right.
But is this the downtown? Is this the whole thing?
Pretty much, yeah. The Bentonville Square is a very small kind of local gathering spot. It's surrounded by lots of bars and restaurants, and down here on the square there are lots of local events that go on throughout the year.
But Eric, where's the beach?
Well, Val, we don't have any beaches here, but I'm going to show you some other cool stuff that we do have.
But people from California are moving here?
Absolutely they are. We get a lot of people from California wanting to relocate here. A lot of it is because of the cost of living being so low.
Well, let's go check it out.
Perfect, let's go. All right, so now that we've got some food in our bellies, let's talk about the things that you can do here, because that's obviously one of the big differences, right?
Well, it looks like it.
So right now we're standing in front of the Slaughter Pen Trailhead.
I see that sign.
We're one block off of the Bentonville Square, and this trailhead leads to 130 miles of mountain biking trails.
Wow. So do families come here? Is there room for them too?
Absolutely. So not only do we have the mountain biking trails that start right here, but right here in front of us is the Razorback Greenway, which is a paved bike trail system. And you can actually ride from the Bentonville Square here all the way down to the Fayetteville Square on this Razorback Greenway.
And how far is that?
It's about 25 miles.
Wow, that's a ride.
Absolutely. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the lifestyle here in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, that's important for sure.
Absolutely. So Val and I are standing here on the Bentonville Square. The Bentonville Square is kind of a small gathering spot in the middle of downtown Bentonville, where there's lots of events throughout the year that happen. There's lots of bars and restaurants that are locally owned, kind of all within a few blocks of this area. And throughout the year, you're likely to run into your neighbor down here at the farmers market that happens in the spring and summer on Saturday mornings. So there's almost always something going on out here that is attracting people to this area. And like I said, you're likely to run into your neighbor here.
You really see your neighbors?
You actually know your neighbors.
Wow, well that's different.
Is that something that you think people from California would like, is being able to know their neighbors and
I think they would.
Okay, so now that we've kind of gone through a lot of the different things here in Northwest Arkansas, let's talk about what you get for the money, because if you're coming from California, it's going to feel like a lot. We're standing here in front of a house that is 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. It's a little over 2,400 square feet.
Wow.
It's built in 2001. It's on a little bit over a 1/4 acre lot.
Wow.
And it's got an in-ground swimming pool.
Wow,
what would be your guess as to what this house would sell for?
Well, I know that the prices are less here, but if it was in California, would probably be in the area in Orange County where we are. Oh, I'm sure it'd probably be 900,000. If it's in certain communities, it could be well over $1 million.
Wow. Do you want to know what it is here?
I do.
This house right here, you could get for $325,000.
Oh my gosh. If I moved here, if I sold my house,
right,
and I moved here, and that's all I had to pay for a house, Eric, what would I do with the leftover money?
Let me ask you, Val, do I have you convinced? Are you ready to move?
But I'd have to give up the beach.
You would have to give up the beach, but what all the other stuff you're getting in addition to that?
It's pretty nice. It's a beautiful day here in Northwest Arkansas. And if you're thinking of retiring or moving to someplace with a better cost of living than California, I recommend that you consider this area. Certainly there's a lot happening and it's beautiful here. And Eric Eby is your guide. Well, thank you very much for your time today. This has been not only educational, but it's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And if you're thinking about moving to Northwest Arkansas, Eric Eby is your guy. And if you're thinking about selling a home in California, I'm your gal.
Val's your gal.
Val's your gal.
That's right. I'm Eric Eby with the Curtis Realty Group, and stay tuned for more videos about Northwest Arkansas on the next episode of Naturally NWA.
Bye-bye.